Tokyo, how's it? Shout out to everybody who's returning. Shout out to everybody who's new. I appreciate y'all so much. And I'm just grateful. I have to take off my shoes. I'm grateful we're able to connect here in this space. And again, I want to connect you to your own intuition, to your own inner knowing. So please take what resonates, leave the rest. All right? I pray you all had a happy holidays if you do celebrate Christmas and things like that, that you were surrounded by love and just happiness in general. I know this time, specifically for me, can be a little bit more difficult of a season to be around, just for what it used to represent for me. So maybe that's relevant in some way to some of you. I know that I'm not alone in that feeling when it comes to it. So, yeah. I pray you guys found some way to keep yourselves happy or at least ate something good the last couple of days. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get into a new reading. I'm probably going to keep these to 10-minute segments so I can add on like number synchronicities and other messages that I've come across the last couple of days. I do want to say that I was looking up hawks specifically the other day, and today when I was driving, a beautiful hawk flew right over my car and right near my windshield. So it was actually pretty neat to see how the divine connects with us in certain ways when it comes to stuff like that. Also, I've been listening to a lot of this group called SAULT, SAULT. Maybe those initials are significant. I don't know why it made me think of Better Call Saul. But also, very great band. You know, they're very spiritual in nature. And I like all kinds of music, but I also do like music that somewhat gives some hope, right? Or like is more like gospel in nature, or you know, just something that's uplifting or that allows you to see perspective from a different way. Okay, so you have Womb is the first card that came out. Well, let me do my little so to me, I feel like this Womb card, you know, obviously the womb isn't attached to anything in this card, but to me that represents like coming back to ourselves in some way, right? Or maybe a rebirth is happening currently for you. Again, we are going to end 9 year from, that's what 2025 represents, but again, that's the lunar new year version of it, right? Like a lot of people go by Gregorian new year, which is the 31st, of course. And again, apply it as it resonates. The energy, take it how you want it to, but the fire horse doesn't start until about February for Lunar New Year, okay? So I don't want anyone to get that confused, right? Because again, we're like, oh, we have to do all these things before the new year, yada, yada, yada. I personally go by the Lunar New Year calendar. That's the way we were going by it since the sands of time has been around, right? And then, you know, businessmen came around and were like, it's time to do this. And we got Soul on the bottom again. We got this card the other day. We also got this card the other day, Patience, okay? And again, this person represents to me, they're in like an ICC. I said that the other day. All right, so an ICC, and I don't know, they just look like, you know, they're obviously waiting to catch something. They're waiting to make their move, I guess, in whatever way. And you can see that their shadow self right there, right? Like you can't really make out who this person is. It just looks like a shadow blob. And to me, that could represent, you know, going into your shadow self a little bit more and taking a look at that. And again, that's maybe what going into the womb has something to do with. Okay, so again, I don't want anyone to feel or think that shadow work is something that's inherently negative, because it is not. We are always a part of our shadow selves. We are always a part of our light selves, right? It's about integrating those two halves as a whole together, right? So it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to look at as something negative. It just is what it is, right? Like we are inherently divine feminine, divine masculine qualities. We are inherently light and dark qualities, okay? So, and transform, right? So we are getting ready to transform, especially when it comes to the end of this lunar New Year cycle, right? And desires on the bottom again. And it's funny, the snake there, I was just watching Year One with Jack Black, and oh my God, why am I blanking on this? I wanted to call him Jonah Hill, but now I'm thinking of Superbad. Maybe those movies are relevant. I don't know. I think Year One is hilarious. Jack Black is always comedy gold, in my opinion. And that's another thing, like around times like this where I find difficult or the energy could be heavy, I do my best to like allow myself to grieve those parts and like be sad. Like I don't ever push the sadness away, right? Because it just comes up in other ways. But I also will find ways to make me laugh, make me smile. Like, I enjoy movies that make me laugh. I definitely enjoy comedy in whatever form it comes in. Test, okay? So, in the mirrors there and surrenders on the bottom, all right? So, in the mirror, you notice how the mirror's on fire. I think that's interesting because I did mention the fire horse. That is going to be the Lunar New Year. Okay, so I feel like your patience is being tested in this rebirth energy so you can come out transformed, okay? And oof, that is a beautiful energy to be surrounded by, in my opinion. Let's see here. What else does the collective need to know right now? What else does the collective need to know? Again, soul popped out. So again, oof, that's crazy. So your soul is definitely being tested right now when it comes to transforming or staying in the shit you've already always been in. And, excuse me, we like familiarity, right? Like as a human being, remember, we're divine beings having a human experience. Hold on, I gotta drink this. My throat is tickly. Excuse me. All right, so we're divine beings having a human experience, and it's hard. It's easy to forget that, is what I want to say. Excuse me. All right, so it's very easy to forget that. It's very easy to forget that through all the human trials, all the human tests, that we are this soul floating around in the world throughout timelines, calling in timelines, doing the things, healers on the bottom, okay? And again, when these tests come up, the tests are usually asking us if we're ready to transform what we've integrated and what we've learned, if we're ready to integrate, or if we need to repeat the lesson again. And I can tell you right now, those tests and those integration tests are a bitch, especially if it's ones that you really don't want to have to sit through and learn again, right? So just make sure you're paying attention, and maybe that's where the patience is coming in. And womb to me also could represent going inward, and that's been a theme in the last couple of readings I've done is definitely hermiting, going inward. And I feel like this past year, 2025, is going, whether you follow Gregorian or Lunar New Year calendar, it's definitely testing us to go inward, to make sure that we are connected to our soul, that we're connected to our patience, that we're connected to our trust, which ultimately is going to lead to this transformation. Observe, right? Okay, so we're observing, we're not absorbing. Creates on the bottom. What is this one sticking out? Love, okay? And union, holy crap. All right, so union's down here, love is right there. All right, and create is right here. So I feel like we are observing things from a perspective of being inward, right? Like with ourselves completely. All right, we're observing our soul during this test that is again causing us to transform, allowing us to transform, okay? And we're creating the love we wish to see and seek, and excuse me, at the end we're going to find union in that. And then desire again popped out. So I really feel like we're being called to, oh my god, this union card is so beautiful. And then simplify is underneath the union card, okay? So simplicity is key, right? Keep it simple, silly pants, right? What is that? That's from, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on the name? Keep it simple. So Ted Lasso. Okay, I love that show too. Why am I forgetting his name? I don't know, but he's hilarious. And so yeah, union is coming. Okay, the love we want is coming, and we're gonna. People think that we don't heal in love, right? Like they may be scared of going in a relationship, a new relationship, or giving something a new, a chance to be in, when, we oftentimes more than not heal in love. We heal with love. We heal while being involved and learning lessons, and again, like being with another person, it can definitely teach us. Like our relationships are mirrors. So, and again, that mirror card, the test card is coming up. So maybe right now the relationships around you are mirroring something that you need to see, and it's going to transform your soul. Okay, so I feel like that's definitely why the observe card is out here. And this could have to do with the love, because again, love came out right here, and then union. So if you're looking for union, and don't look for union, but if you're seeking that, your soul is seeking that, slow down, go within, and remember that you can only do so much work on your own without going into the thick of it, so to speak, right? And it can definitely be daunting, right? Like, especially if you care about someone at a certain level, and like they make you feel more vulnerable than anything than you've ever experienced.